afternoon. Welcome to Halftime Report. So far, things are going steady. The bulls are in control. So the benchmark indices have a gain of close to about 95 points in the Nifty. So touching that 100 mark, the Sensex is up in excess of about 310 points. The mid-caps are doing well, moving in step with the frontliners. The advanced decline ratio is positive. 5 stocks in the green for 2 in the red. Really, nothing to complain about today. It's the last full working week of 2018.
That's right, Rima. I think for you in 2018, I think this is the last working day.
Yes.
So you're glowing, actually. You know, in the next couple of hours, you're going to be packing your bags and getting out of here. But for the markets, as you said, things looking very, very good. The only concern, I think, is in terms of what India is doing with Australia. Currently, we've lost 4 wickets. We have 40 runs on the board. But otherwise, a big lead. 340 runs is the lead that we're holding on to. For the markets, no worries whatsoever. First day of a series, 90 points on the board. So that's looking pretty good as well.
So 300 lead for India and Australia, and the Sensex leads by 300 points.
Oh, excellent. All right, Rima's in the mood. Looks like all set for New Year's. 300 is the number that we're talking about. First up, let's run you through all the top stories on Halftime Report. The markets, they hold with some good gains. Today, we are seeing that, in fact, the frontline index is looking to wrap up the year in style. The key indices surge, led by the HDFC Twins, Reliance and ICICI Bank. The mid-cap index as well trades in line.
Principal Economic Advisor Sanjeev Sanyal bats for a rate cut, says a fall in inflation calls for a big cut, adds that the government will maintain fiscal discipline.
And banking and financial stocks head north on lower crude prices, inflation as well as recap news. United Bank spikes a news of over 2,000 crores of capital infusion by the bank.
Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekharan writes to employees, says 2019 will bring a number of macro challenges like tighter global liquidity and political uncertainty ahead of Lok Sabha polls.
And investors stock up on holiday stocks. Lemon Tree rallies following a joint venture with PE firm Warburg Pincus to develop co-living units. The Mahindra holiday stock as well brings in gains.
Looks like it's not just me who's in a holiday mood. In fact, all the holiday stocks are also doing quite well. So Lemon Tree is on our radar. Apart from the year-end factor, they've also signed a JV with Warburg Pincus, and Mangalam joins in with the details. Mangalam?
Absolutely. So, you know, more than the holiday, it's actually the joint venture which is working for them, Rima, because about 85% of their revenues come in from business hotels. And if anything during the holiday season, business hotels go with lower occupancy. But as far as the JV with Warburg Pincus is concerned, it's a new stream of business where they are exploring the co-living space for students as well as urban professionals who migrate. It's a JV in which they are expected to invest about 3,000 crores over the next 7 years. And this is the entire JV investment. The company's stake in the joint venture is 30%. Over the next 7 years, they target about 100,000 rooms to be added. And the management was saying close to around 15,000 to 20,000 per month could be the realization per room at the end of this 7 years as far as rental income is concerned. So let's see how that goes by. We spoke to the management this morning, and they said the first year they'll be a little conservative, open just 2,000 rooms, but more importantly, 14 to 16% yields is what they're working with.
The board has approved a joint venture with Warburg Pincus, which is also, of course, a very large private equity firm out of the US, and our earlier investors with us in Lemon Tree Hotels. The majority stake is with Warburg Pincus. We are taking a significant minority stake, and this will be invested over time. So I want to be very clear, it's not an immediate equity investment. It will be an equity investment over the next 7 years. And it is up to 3,000 crores. Our target is to build 100,000 beds in India. We will be conservative in the first year. So my estimate is that I don't want to, talk about 10,000 beds or 20,000 beds. Maybe we will only do 2,000 beds. We will make sure that we iterate this in such a way that the business model gives us a minimum yield of 14 or 15%. Once we get there, then we will look at very rapid national expansion.
Well, and as the holiday kicks in, Mr. Singh, the MD of Mahindra Holidays, he said that, in fact, the company is at the inflection point in terms of consumption trends. Let's hear out what he had to tell us earlier today.
Talking about trends in 2019, I think my view is that we are at an inflection point. The per capita, $2,000, that's the level that now we are reaching at a country level. And we believe that this will spur huge amount of consumption, particularly holidaying, leisure, food, and exploring new destinations. We provide right now 37 resorts outside of India, and as we speak, we are looking at adding properties in Sri Lanka, and we are looking at some other properties in and around India in time to come.
Okay, let's talk about some other stocks that are buzzing in trade today. Sonal Bhutra joins in with that list. Sonal?
Thanks a lot for that. And yes, topping my list is United Bank of India surging in trade today. That is because the company has informed the exchanges that they have received some letter from the government regarding capital infusion by them to the tune of 2,200 crores. And this will be via equity infusion and by a preferential allotment. This, of course, will improve the CET ratio of the company to around 9.58 versus 5 earlier. Definitely a positive coming in for the bank. Other stocks that I'm looking out for is Ashok Buildcon that has received an approval from the board for allotment of NCDs amounting to around 150 crore rupees. HCC is also in focus because they have their rights issue has been fully subscribed. In fact, it has been oversubscribed and they have been able to raise around 500 crore rupees. In the broader markets, there are some stocks that are buzzing in trade today, including Jain Irrigation, India Cements, and also some of the Mumbai-based real estate stocks are buzzing like DLF, Kolte Patil, Prestige Estates. DLF is, of course, an NCR-based real estate developer, but the others like Suntech and Oberoi Realty are also buzzing in trade today. Back to you.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Sonal. Well, Nimesh joins us in the studio. He's going to tell us about what brokerages are making. Nimesh, some of them at least are writing, others are only...
Oh, yes. So there are at least we're getting some of them on a daily basis. So I'll start with Namura on banks first. They've written a note on PSU banks. They feel the latest, tranche of infusion has been reported by CNBC as well. The largest beneficiary will be Bank of India, and that will probably help them in getting out of the PCA framework as well. So they are betting on Bank of India, but they prefer to stick with the private banks. So their top picks are Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, followed by one of the largest PSU, which is SBI. So that's the call on banks. Jefferies has written a note on FMCG companies. They feel that the input prices for both food and non-food have seen a bit of correction. And the fact that in the last 4-5 months, most of the companies have increased the prices, that will argue well for the margins for most of the FMCG companies in Q3. They've been very selective and cautious on the FMCG space given the such valuations. But for them, the top bets are ITC, Dabur, Nestle, Asian Paints and Jubilant Foods. HSBC wrote a note on Tata Motors today morning. They feel that the JLR weakness seems to have bottomed out in 2019, and even in absolute terms, the valuation looks quite compelling. But there are no upside triggers in the near term because cash flows are going to be stressed, and there are going to be worries in the long-term business model as well. So they retain a hold with a price target of 200 rupees. Finally, MK has written a note on HDFC Bank. They retain a buy with a target price of 2,500. They feel that the premium valuation which HDFC Bank gets will continue at least in the near term. Benefit of digitalization will benefit, and it's clearly visible in the bank stock. So that's their positive on. And importantly, they feel that Aditya Puri may contest for continuation beyond 2020 if RBI has to change the rules of age bar from 70 to 75. So these are the 4 names, but I guess the biggest would be PSU Bank stock, given that now the capital infusion is going to come for most of the PSU Bank stocks.
Okay, thank you very much for that. A quick recap then of the top stocks that are moving in trade. We've got Lemon Tree, you've got United Bank, Ashoka Buildcon, HCC, Tata Motors, Mahindra Holidays, HDFC Bank, FMCG companies like ITC and Dabur. Get into a break then. On that note, on the other side, Kansai Nerolac has announced a purchase of Perma Construction Aids. We'll be joined by the management to discuss the revenue potential of the deal and also the impact of falling crude prices. Stay tuned.